Hey, this is Mark Cockerton, and we're listening to Pro Lacrosse Talk.
On Schreiber. Sidearm whip, scores!
Now in front, Padel scores! Hands off for Rabel, switches hands and scores!
Kylie O'Miller showing off those shifty skills.
Right off the bat, there's Lyle Thompson!
Low to high, ripped, a hammer for Mark Cockerton.
Welcome to Pro Lacrosse Talk, the voice of Pro Lacrosse. I'm Hunt, he's Adam. Together we're bringing you interviews with your favorite players and coaches, as well as news from all 4 professional lacrosse leagues. We're here with Mark Cockerton, attackman with the Boston Cannons and member of the Canadian men's national team. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you coming on this off-season, Mark. And to start, we just want to talk about how you grew up in Oshawa, where lacrosse is a big part of your life. Your dad, Stan, was a legend in his own right in the Junior A circuit, and in college at NC State. But talk to me about growing up and playing lacrosse in Ontario, and how much of an influence did your dad have on your game?
He had a huge influence on me. It was kind of growing up in Ontario, you kind of have either lacrosse or mainly the main sport is hockey. So everybody plays hockey when they grow up, and then you have basically a decision to make, whereas mine was kind of easy. My dad was a big lacrosse guy, so when I got to that age, I wasn't influenced at all by the hockey. I just always knew I wanted to be a lacrosse player. So in that regard, it was awesome. But, he got me in at an early age. I started playing. I do a lot of coaching, so a lot of guys start playing at like 13, 14 plus. I started when I was 4, so. Wow. Which is pretty crazy, but it's not out of the norm for here in Canada. It's a huge lacrosse town, Oshawa, Whitby area. My dad was kind of the first from this area to start. But, we got players like Zach Greer, Mark Matthews, Zach Paulin went to Hopkins, Chad Tutton, a lot of guys that went down south. We kind of started that trend. And now if you look at it across the board, there are guys from this area going south, every single year, tons of guys. So, growing up here, it's one of the biggest lacrosse towns in the entire world. So, I feel fortunate in that aspect, but I always knew I wanted to be a lacrosse player, and it's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, I was talking to my father-in-law last night. He actually played at Towson the same time your dad was in at NC State, and he was pretty honest that your dad torched him on defense a lot. So he had a lot of good things to say about your dad.
I didn't get to see him play because we didn't really have the greatest technology back then, but I heard some stories from a lot of guys that I meet, in the lacrosse world, and they have always great things to say about him, and I wish I could have seen him play. He was an absolute beast, so it kind of sucks, but, you just kind of live off the stories, and, he still has some records, too, so that's pretty cool to have that.
Yeah, that's great. But kind of moving on to your college career a little bit, you ended up going down south to play for Dom Starja at the University of Virginia. You had a stellar career with the Wahoos. You finished with 157 points. Talk about your decision to go play for Coach Starja at UVA, and how do you think that really prepared you for your pro career?
Obviously UVA is a great lacrosse program, and that's kind of what I wanted to get out of going down south. I wanted to get a good education and a good lacrosse experience at a top-notch school. So when I was kind of going through my recruiting process, my dad went to NC State. They obviously don't have a program anymore, but I always was kind of, I don't want to say obsessed, but, I was always intrigued by the ACC. It's good academic schools, good lacrosse. And so it was either between that, North Carolina, Duke, and I visited them all, and I don't know if you guys have been down to Charlottesville at the UVA, but I fell in love with the campus the minute I stepped on campus. It's just an unbelievable spot. Coming down from or being from Canada, it's cold up here, and I wanted to get, as far south as I could, just get some nicer weather, some warmer climate. And down there, it was at the time I think one of the furthest south schools. So it was just, for me, it was a no-brainer. Good academic school, good overall lacrosse school, and it all worked out, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'm actually from the Northern Virginia area, but I've been down to Charlottesville a few times, and it's very historic. Yeah, it's awesome. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the national championship run your freshman year. I was actually at that game in Baltimore with my family. But what was it like, that experience winning that championship right from the jump?
Yeah, it sounds cliche, but it honestly was a dream come true. I was going absolutely nuts when it happened, and luckily for me, being like one of the top recruits, I was able to step on the field, my freshman year, which was awesome. Not many guys at top programs can say that. So going into the Final Four, I actually moved from attack to midfield, and one of our top middies got hurt, which kind of meant me, having a starting midfield role, which was awesome. I think I had three goals against Denver in the Final Four, and then a couple of assists in the final game. And it was just an awesome experience, playing at a venue, of that caliber at M&T Bank in Baltimore, and then, just having, 40+ thousand fans there. As a freshman, it was unbelievable. And it kind of sucked, too, at the same time. You think you're going to get back to the Final Four, and, after that, I thought I was going to win another one, blah, 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 but it didn't end up happening. And, but I'll always savor, that one national championship they had, that ring, and, it was just an unbelievable experience overall.
Yeah, we've had Dom Starja and Steele Stanwyck on the pod in recent months, and they talked about how that it was such a special experience for them as well. So definitely, that's awesome.
Yeah, I would also add just on that, it was just we lost a couple of our key guys too right before the tournament started, and I don't want to say the underdogs because UVA is not always an underdog, but it kind of was that year. We no one expected us to win. So in that aspect, it was just awesome. We were the 7th ranked team, and no one expected us to win. And the battle that we went through at the end there was unbelievable.
Yeah, no. Steele mentioned you guys limped kind of into the playoffs. And once you got into the playoffs, though, you kind of made that run. You came together, and I think that's a testament to a championship caliber team that's able to come together in the toughest moments. So yeah, definitely a special one for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then following your college career, you ended up getting drafted into the MLL by the Rochester Rattlers and eventually found your way to the Ohio Machine. In your years there under Bear Davis, you went to the championship in 2016 and lost in a heartbreaker to the Outlaws 19-18. But then you got your redemption in 2017, defeating Denver 17-12 to win that ship. Walk us through those 2 seasons and how you overcame that 2016 loss to win it all in 2017.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a heartbreak loss. Actually, yeah, like you mentioned, I started off the Rattlers. I went to 3 straight title games in my MLL career, which was crazy. I always tell people that, and they're just shocked. So 2015 I won, 2016, 2017, or 2016 we lost 3 in a row. Then to come back in 2017, again, was just an unbelievable experience. But, it was tough, but having that group of guys that we had, the MLLs, every team is, talented, but we had probably, in my opinion, the most talent of an MLL team that I can think of, with Tom Schreiber, Marcus Holman, these guys leading the way, Kyle Harrison, Peter Baum. It was unbelievable. And, we wanted to kind of redeem ourselves from that 2016 year, and we did. And we were down actually to Denver again, in that 2017 title game. We came back, and I think Marcus Holman had about 4 or 5 in the fourth quarter. Great leader, great clutch player he is, and it was just unbelievable to get that ring. And I'm trying to do that with Boston. Same thing in Boston right now.
Yeah, no, that's great. And let's talk about too. You were traded to the Cannons from the Ohio Machine during the 2018 season that year, and you scored team second best, 32 points in just 7 games with Boston, including 8 goal performance against your former team in the last game of the season. But what was it like getting traded that season, and how have you really embraced this new Cannons team? And like you said, how are you really preparing them to kind of, make a championship run yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, it started off, it sucked getting traded. No one wants to get traded and feel like you're not wanted. And that's kind of what happened in Ohio. You're just coming off of a championship winning season. I was the leading scorer on the team. And, so to get that call, it actually hurt, to be honest. But at the end of the day, it all worked out. We went to Boston, and, it's an unbelievable city, the coaching staff, the front office, everybody there, it's a first-class organization. So, I couldn't be happier being there. So it all worked out in the end. But even getting there, we had the same kind of concept. Everybody's a good guy, great coaching staff. And, I just feel like, coming over, as soon as I came over there, our team kind of flipped around, and I think they were 0-5, 0-6 when I first got there, and we ended up having a pretty decent record at the end there. But even this year, we started off great, and I think just the overall chemistry of the team, overall group that we have there, we can definitely make a championship run moving forward.
That's awesome. And you talked about this season a little bit. You had a stellar year with career highs, 43 goals, 52 points overall. You guys fell short a little bit in that OT loss in the semifinals to the Outlaws. Still a tremendous season. What did you see from this Cannon squad this year that really excites you for next season?
Again, I think just a group of guys, and not only that, I mean, it sounds sounds bad to say, but I'm the second oldest guy on the team this year, I think. It's not what I'm accustomed to, so that was crazy. So we got a lot of young, talented players. So that's just looking at it from that point of view is awesome. And I was the captain this year, so overlooking the team in general, just the young talent that we have, moving forward, if we can just keep, the same key components together, Zach Goodrich and, Rylan Reese, Nicky Morocco's even a young goalie. If we can keep these core guys together, I think that's going to be a great organization for, plenty of years to come. So, I'll talk to, Coach Core, some other guys, and trying to keep all these guys together. If we can do that, we're going to be, pretty scary good. Then you got in a couple of key guys from the draft. We'll be scary good moving forward.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head, too, with just the young leaders you have on that team. Because we talked to Nick Morocco, just seeing his first year as a full-time starter and just really how a bunch of guys really stepped it up and embraced that leadership type of role. Let's transfer a little bit to your international experience. So in 2018, you had the opportunity to travel to Israel for the World Championship with Team Canada. Obviously not the end result you guys wanted, but talk to me about that experience in Israel and how does it feel every time you get to represent Canada?
Yeah, again, it's an absolute dream come true. My dad, I hear the stories all the time. He was, he scored the game winner in double overtime for Team Canada to win Canada's first World Championship. So I actually have that picture in my house right now, and I had it growing up. So to have that, that just kind of reminder, I always wanted to play for Team Canada. And I finally get the opportunity. I didn't make the team in 2014 when they won, which, I thought I should have been on, but to be able to represent Team Canada, the country you live in, you kind of buy in, and it was an unbelievable experience. I have it over in, Israel too, where, lacrosse isn't big. My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, a couple of my best friends, also be there, watching every single game. So to have the support, around me is a huge, it's a huge point for me as well. But, again, it wasn't the end result we wanted, but, we'll be back in a couple of years, and, it's always going to be that battle between Team Canada and Team USA. So, I'm sure we're going to have another crack at it. And I was looking forward to it actually being in Canada, but I think they just moved it to LA, which kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, it's going to be, our team bonding together and, having that chance to win gold. And I hope I get one more crack at it for sure.
That's great. And kind of going off the international game, there's talk of the game moving hopefully to the Olympics at some point. What's your thought on that, and any chance you think we'll see you don the white and red as an Olympian one day?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's kind of always that up in the air topic, and I want to play. At the end of the day, I want to play lacrosse as long as I can. So I think my dad's been working on getting into the Olympics. He was the president of international lacrosse for a long time. He just stepped down a few years ago, but his dream was always to get in the Olympics. So I think the earliest they could get in is, 2028, I think, was the earliest, I think, in the LA Olympics. So if we could get in that, I'd be, late 30s at the time. But now, again, I train hard, and, it's kind of my dream. So, I'll be working, my hardest that I can to be on that team. And, if I could ultimately do that at the end of the day, it would be, the ultimate dream, I think, especially for lacrosse players being in that first Olympics. Yeah. If you could somehow walk away with gold, it would be, something to remember and kind of, history in the making, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. We look forward, to one day when that the lacrosse is in the Olympics, and hopefully, like you said, it will be 2028. We're going to take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsor, and then we'll dive into our 5 and 5 segments.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of the Pro Lacrosse Talk podcast. We've been using Anchor for our podcast since the very start. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place, and better yet, it's free. They allow you to easily record and edit your podcast so it sounds great and send it out to all the major networks such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and many more. Better yet, they connect you with advertisers so you can start making money from your podcast right away. So if you're interested in starting a podcast, download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Today's show is being brought to you in part by Stitcher Premium. You can use Stitcher Premium to listen to shows ad-free such as Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, My Favorite Murder, Wolverine the Lost Trail, or our favorite, The Fantasy Footballers. For only $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year, you get access to Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, and comedy albums. Better yet, if you go over to Stitcher.com/premium and use the promo code lacrosse today, you can get 1 month free. So head on over to Stitcher, sign up, and get your free trial today.
All right, so welcome back. Let's dive into our 5 and 5. So Mark, I'll start off with the lacrosse-related questions. The first one I'm going to ask is, who is someone in the lacrosse community that you really admire?
We said it earlier, but I think the first person that comes to mind is my dad. He had a lot to do with, the sport in general, especially Canadians, kind of paving the way for, Canadians to go down south. And, now it's unbelievable. You see 3, 4, 5 plus Canadians in every roster, which back when he started, he was, one of 5 Canadians down playing in general. So I think that's the first person that comes to mind. Just the influence he had on me, starting me off at an early age and kind of, growing the game for me and getting me to fall in love with the game. I think it has to be my dad for that question.
Yeah, no, definitely. I figured that might be the answer. Number 2, what pre-game superstitions or routines that you have?
I don't know if it's somewhat of a superstition, but I always like to go out there. We always go out for 2 warm-ups, so I usually stay. I'm the last one to stay, and I usually try and hit each corner with every different shot that I like to do, whether it's low to high to low, sidearm. I like just try and hit every single corner a couple of times just to make sure my stick's dialed in. I'm feeling it that day. So I usually just try and stay after, our first warm-up there and, hit every corner a couple of times.
All right, great. And then is there a top song on your game day playlist?
Ooh. Right now, probably not a top song in general, but favorite artist right now is probably Post Malone. He's a beast. He kills it out there. He's upbeat, but he's also kind of chill at the same time. So I think Posty right now is my top.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is a good one because he doesn't get you a little too high. I mean, that's the problem. Sometimes you don't want to get pro games, but you also you want to stay a little ahead of the time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Number 4, what is your current lacrosse stick setup in terms of shaft, head, and stringing?
Right now I have a Maverick. No, I have a Maverick. I don't know the name of the actual shaft. But head, I have the Tactic 2.0 set up, and I usually like to go like a mid to high pocket, like pretty deep, kind of test out, basically at the end of the legal ramifications you can have. But usually a mid to high pocket, tight string, and then a nice little channel going up top. And then Tactic 2.0 Maverick head. And then a Maverick shaft. I'm not too picky about the shaft. I think anything, as long as it's light, I think any shaft is kind of the same. So, but usually mid to low or mid to high pocket.
Awesome. And then number 5, what has been your favorite venue to play at? You've obviously played at a bunch of different places, in a bunch of different countries as well. So, what's been your favorite venue to play lacrosse? Again, there's been so many, but I think at the end of the day, and if you ask a lot of, lacrosse enthusiasts around the country, I think they'll tell you that Klockner, there's no better place to play. Whether it's, Saturday, Sunday, it's a nice day in the spring in Charlottesville. You got the hill on one side, the stands on the other. If you get a game against, Syracuse, Duke, Hopkins comes into town, you got a nice sunny day. I think Klockner by far is the best venue to play lacrosse in for sure.
All right, so we'll move on to some off-the-field questions. Now that you've gotten acclimated in Boston a little bit, what's one of your favorite places to hang out or go while you're in Mass?
We spend quite a bit of time, downtown. We usually go out downtown a little bit.
Okay.
We play about half hour south, Quincy. So it's nice to get downtown. You kind of drive through when you land at Logan Airport there. But we go to a place right across from TD Arena. So just to get over in that area, the west end there is a good spot to go.
That's awesome. And kind of going off that a little bit, it might be in Mass or wherever, but what are some hobbies or activities you enjoy while you're not on the lacrosse field, whether it's in that area or back home?
Yeah, number one hobby right now is golf. I've been playing since I was a kid, and there's actually a lot of good courses up in Massachusetts. We've been actually as a team out to a couple. Granite Links is unbelievable. It's a little bit south, near Quincy, but which is awesome because then you can golf anywhere you want. So golf right now for sure. is my number one hobby. I try and get out a couple times a week, and I'm actually going to Florida in a couple of weeks, so I'll get some winter golf, which is the first time in my career I've been able to do that, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And then kind of this may help answer your next one, but who's your favorite current non-lacrosse athlete to watch?
Oh, right now, that's actually a toss-up. I've been a huge Tiger Woods fan since I was a kid. I did actually a couple projects on him, and to see him, come back like he did after all those injuries, watching, him win the Masters last year, and that has to be up there with, my top, non-lacrosse sporting moments. But I think right now, number one is taking over, especially since I've been a mass Tom Brady.
Okay.
I've been a big Tom Brady fan since, I started watching football in high school. I played my last couple of years, and, watching him, the way he goes about business and the way, the type of leader he is, I try and emulate him and just try and work hard and just be the type of leader that he is. And, I'm just trying to do that now the best that I can. But, to top him is, it's very hard to do. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, no, well, and he's been able to, make his body last this long. So if you maybe take a little out of his page from his book, you should definitely be able to
make the Olympics, right?
Yeah, wait till I'm 45. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And going a little bit, we like to hear what the guys like to eat. So what's your favorite meal, and do you prefer to dine out, take out, or cook at home?
Favorite meal by far is pasta. Anyone that knows me, I love pasta. I mean, I try and switch it up every now and then, but my go-to would probably just be a nice red sauce with spaghetti, and then I kind of add in, different meat if I want, whether it's Italian sausage or, chicken, meatballs, whatever. But, definitely pasta, go-to meal. Decently healthy, got carbs in you to get you up, and, it's the best.
Awesome. Any good spots in Boston you like to go to get a good red sauce?
Specifically, I actually have not been able to go. I know they have a great, Italian kind of, section down there in the north end, but I just have not been able to get down there. We usually, we play, and then next day we're flying out. I stayed down there once this past weekend with my girlfriend, but we didn't end up going, which I definitely regret, and I think we're definitely gonna have to make a trip down there, and I'll let you guys know when I get there.
That sounds good. Yeah. And then our last 5 and 5. What's a book or a podcast that you listen to or read that you would recommend to a teammate or friend?
I'm not a huge, podcast guy, but being up in Canada, Spittin' Chicklets, I'm sure you guys know them.
Yep. Absolutely.
They're funny. They got some funny, stories, and I think a lot of the, lacrosse, hockey guys, especially in Canada, they love hearing that stuff. My buddy's got me onto it actually recently, and they got some funny stuff going on there. So probably number one right now.
That sounds good.
Yeah, no, that's a very common answer. Yeah, definitely on my list as well as a lot of lacrosse guys, like you said. Especially the Canadians. I think it's probably the most common.
Oh, they love it.
Question.
Yeah. They love it.
Mark, we got one final question for you. You were once a young lacrosse player yourself. So what is some advice that you have for a young player right now looking to one day play lacrosse professionally?
I would probably just say, a lot of people would say, play multi-sports, this and that. I'd probably say just take advantage of the opportunity. You're only, able to do, the lacrosse thing one time, whether it's going to college. I'd say just take advantage of it, work hard. And, you don't, especially college, you don't get another chance at it. So, you're 4 years, and, one regret I have, it's not maybe, working a little bit harder. I work very hard, but, whether it's going to the weight room a little bit more or taking a couple extra reps, I wish I was back in college right now and I got another crack at it. So I say just take advantage of the opportunity, work as hard as you can because, you only get one shot at it.
No, I love that. That's great. Like you said, you got to put in the work, and it may not seem like it's paying off initially, but you'll see the results of it. Mark, where can people find you on social media?
Right now, mostly just Instagram is what I'm on right now. My handle is Mark Cockerton 41. Same with Twitter. I don't usually use Twitter. I kind of just go on to get some news and this and that. But Instagram for sure. Big Instagram guy. So yeah, Mark Cockerton 41 is the Instagram handle.
All right, awesome. So guys, give Mark a follow. And Mark, thank you so much for joining us. Again, congrats on a terrific season with Boston, best of luck as you prepare for the 2020 season.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. It's been a good time, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the future.
Today's show is being brought to you in part by Stitcher Premium. You can use Stitcher Premium to listen to shows ad-free such as Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, My Favorite Murder, Wolverine the Lost Trail, or our favorite, The Fantasy Footballers. For only $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year, you get access to Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, and comedy albums. Better yet, if you go over to Stitcher.com/premium and use the promo code lacrosse today, you can get 1 month free. So head on over to Stitcher, sign up, and get your free trial today.